Hey, welcome back to That's What He Said. I'm your host, Natalie, and this is a podcast about dating. Before you watch, make sure you subscribe, follow, like, comment, rate, review, and share the show. Let's find out what he said.
Okay, just do it like you normally would. Don't overthink it. Okay. And don't peek at the story.
Won't peek.
Okay, adjective. Doofus, you're in the way.
I gotta remember English. Okay. Adjective. We're gonna say sticky.
It's off to a very
Off to a
non-PG
great
start. Adjective.
Okay, we're gonna go puffy.
Puffy. Part of the body.
Oof. Well, you know, the pinky toe.
That's not what I thought you were going to say.
That's not what I thought I was gonna say
Noun.
either.
This is long.
London Bridge.
Right, very specific. Animal.
Koala.
Koala bear.
Yeah. Doofy bear.
Verb.
Farting. That's not a verb.
That's not a verb. Fart. Yeah. Adverb.
That's ending with ing.
That's, yeah.
So, pissing.
I think adverb is like what ends with a Y. It's like
Pissy?
passively.
I thought an adverb was you're in the form of doing it. No, that's literally a verb.
Like sneakily. That's an adverb.
Sneakily.
Okay.
Is that an adverb?
Yeah.
All right. We're 30.
It's
We know.
like the combination of an adjective and a verb. Okay, noun. Think a noun, any noun.
A noun.
Make it interesting.
Noun. Can you use it in a sentence? No, I'm kidding. Okay, a noun. Big Ben. We're
Who?
going real UK.
That's a
Big Ben.
location.
It's a clock. The Big Ben clock.
Pick another noun. Foot.
That's a noun?
Well, that's part of the
It's
body.
part of the body.
Okay.
Athens.
That's literally a place.
Isn't that a noun? Are we stupid? Okay. Disco ball.
Okay.
What's a
yeah,
noun?
Yeah.
What is a noun?
A thing, person, place, or
Okay,
thing.
I've said, hey, how many things have I said?
Okay, well, they weren't good ones.
Fine.
Okay, adjective. Descriptive word.
Right. Squirmy.
Okay.
I'm trying to not be.
Don't know how to spell that.
Squirmy.
I know, I just misspelled it. Okay. Noun.
You know, penis. Hey, let's just throw out one. I got so far. We're gonna throw out one.
Okay. Verb.
Right after the penis.
What?
Well, suck.
You gave up on the trying to be
gave up on PG.
clean. Okay.
Right.
Noun.
Again.
Yeah. Different noun.
Easter bunny. We're going back PG.
Okay. Sort of.
Well,
Part of the body.
the nipple.
We're just gonna do nipple.
Oh, right.
Noun.
J-Lo.
That's a good one.
Let's throw her in.
Always. Okay, adverb.
Which ends in a Y.
Descriptive verb.
I still feel like that ends in ing.
No, That's just a.
Oh, so an adverb is like cute. Nope, that's an
No. Like cutely. If I acutely did something.
adjective. All right.
I don't think that's a real word, but
Yeah.
I like angrily. That's an adverb.
Firmly.
There you go.
Firmly grasp it. Do you
For-
know that SpongeBob quote?
No.
All right.
Freaking Nickelodeon's disgusting. Okay.
Okay, but SpongeBob was.
Also,
Oh, yeah,
they
that's
had a
Nickelodeon.
lot of.
That's animated.
All of it was nasty.
Not SpongeBob.
Did you not watch the documentary?
Yes, but we're not throwing SpongeBob in there.
No,
Don't do
just
that to him.
Nickelodeon. I love SpongeBob.
But we can't.
It's an adult show, honestly.
Yeah.
Okay, verb.
Jellyfishing. Sorry, now I'm just on that. Jellyfishing.
Jellyfishing.
That's a verb.
Fishing?
Jellyfishing.
Okay.
Write it. That's a verb. That's an action he did.
Jellyfishing. No, I don't think so. Do a different one. It's not gonna make sense in this sentence.
That's the whole point.
When they did this one wrong.
I thought you said you read it. Okay, not jellyfish.
Okay, this should be adjective. What is like eager? Like, is eager an adjective?
Eager, yeah, I guess.
No.
Eager can describe
Yeah.
how you're doing something.
So it needs to
Like
be
if you
something
said
like
you're
that.
eager to run outside,
Yeah.
is that an adjective? I thought an adjective describes a person.
But it would be
Should
describing
I go
me.
back to school?
We're
oh my
okay.
Gosh. Okay.
Let's just go with jellyfishing. Even
Yeah.
though that doesn't make sense.
Well, you know.
Actually, I'm gonna put eager.
Okay. All right.
Okay, verb. A normal verb.
Normal verb. Squirt.
Okay.
I got Rufus. Oh, shit.
Excuse me, ma'am. Exclamation.
Why was I gonna yell? Ball sack.
Okay. Past tense verb. This is complicated.
Past tense verb.
So ed.
Right. Okay. Well, you know the one I want to say, Rich, right off the bat.
Yeah.
But we're not gonna. Pooped.
Okay.
There we go.
Another past tense verb.
Oh, okay. I'm so sorry, Mom. So sorry.
Okay. Number.
22. That's the day I was born.
No, it's not.
22nd.
Yeah, but
January
that's not why you
22nd.
said it.
Why not?
Something Taylor Swift, I think.
That is also a Taylor Swift song, but that is also the day I was born.
All right. I'm sure you think there's something there.
Of course, she is my angel.
Okay, I'm gonna sage the house after this. Another number.
Another number. 3.
Was that an English accent?
It was a poor one. It was.
Not a good one. Okay. Verb.
Verb. Smacked.
No,
Well,
that's
can
past
it-
tense.
smack.
Smack. Okay. Verb.
Verb
and verb.
Jumped and skipped. Nope. Why are they both past? Do, jump, skip.
Okay. Adverb.
Adverb again. All right.
Those adverbs.
Gotta
Really
get the
getting
ly.
us.
If it doesn't end in ly, we are going to look dumb. Dumbly.
It does.
Dumbly.
That's not
that
a
a word?
real word.
Stupidly.
Stupidly. Stupidly. Let me not misspell stupid. Okay. So
Water in mouth.
the way this Mad Libs works is I'm gonna read what we have produced. You're gonna put water in your mouth. Mm-hmm. We brought a towel for a reinforcement. Mm-hmm. And you have to try to keep the water in your mouth
and not spit it
the
on
whole
the
time.
Or the
Do
lights.
do not spit on anything but the towel.
We're breaking the fourth wall. What is that called? Yeah.
What?
Never mind. You know, like when. Never mind. Just keep going.
Okay, well, get
it's ready.
Well, you don't want it
We
over your
gotta,
shirt? Over the mic.
Over the mic? That's gonna. Should I do
so
like
it
this?
doesn't get wet.
We'll do like a bib.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I'm getting flashbacks. Okay. When we first met, you looked sticky and puffy. I couldn't believe my pinky toe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. Grandma dying. dying.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right. You smelled like London Bridge. Stop. And walked as graceful as a koala bear. Mm-hmm. I couldn't wait to fart to you. Mm-hmm. Okay. I can't look at you. I'm crying. All right. I sneakily asked. This is a love story, by the way. This is a love story. Like I'm writing a love letter. Okay. I sneakily asked you if I could have your disco ball. I could see a look of squirmy in your eyes. You hesitated for a moment, then gave me a penis. Dude, you just slobbered.
Spit in my mouth. Oh, it went in my nose.
Okay.
Wow.
Now you gotta start over.
Well, I mean. Okay. My lap is soaked. I put
that worked out. That I asked for your disco ball, but you gave me a penis. That was good.
I put a mouthful in, and I'm not doing that this time.
Okay. I finally got to take you on your first date. I loved spending time with you. You could make me suck so easily. Like no one had before. When you touched me, I felt Easter Bunny up my nipple. When you looked at me, I could see J-Lo. That's true love. I knew we were meant to be together. We didn't put enough water, but it's fine. After a firmly night, I was so eager to bring you home. I longed to squirt you again. You looked at me and said, ball sack.
Thank God for this towel.
I know this is funny. Okay. And I just knew. You pooped me. You pooped me and I shitted you. Stop laughing. I can't breathe. Okay, here we are after all this time. It feels like it's been 22 years. I look forward to 3 more. Only 3. You make me want to smack, and I will jump you forever. Nobody else could skip me like you do. Stupidly yours.
Wow. Wow. You know.
That was a good one.
That was a good one.
Oh my gosh.
Ball sack. I mean, what beats? What beats a ball joke?
Okay. Cheers. Clink, we clink.
Now we get to business.
That was a big sip after all that. Okay. This is Blakeley, the beautiful Blakeley Hudson. You'll recognize her voice from
Sadly.
episode 3.
Unfortunately for
Episode 3, story time, where she sent in a voice note with a story. You'll have to go back and watch it to find out what the story
good
was.
old ghosting.
Good old ghosting.
My first.
We know how
ghosting.
much I love ghosting.
That is what this was built on.
Yes.
Sorry.
So, introduce yourself. Tell us about you.
Okay.
What's your relationship status?
Ooh, okay. I'm Blakeley. From Fayetteville, Arkansas. Born and raised. Woo pig. Met Natalie at the U of A in AOPI.
Yes.
We lived together. Roommates for
Yes.
life.
I don't know how we were sorority girls, because we were not sorority girls. Neither
Well,
of us.
I think we both made
You
it.
at least looked like one, but
Thank you. We made it to like live in house, and then we kind of both dipped.
for sure dipped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
you're from Fayetteville, real country.
Okay. Come on. What else do you need to know?
You're 30.
Oh,
you
30.
are a
Single
boss
as a
babe.
Pringle.
Single as a Pringle.
Single as a
And
Pringle.
What are you looking for right now in dating?
Looking for end game, future husband, daddy to my children.
Okay.
Let's just call it what it is. Yes, that is what we're seeking.
End game.
Haven't found him.
Okay.
That usually scares people when you say that. Like,
Yeah.
what are you seeking? Husband. They're like on dating apps, if I say that and they ask like, what are you looking for? And I say, I mean, TBH, husband. They're like, leave chat.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like guys think it's too forward, it's too much, but it's like, I'm just going to tell you what it is. Like,
so let's start there, because you're like big dating app girl
well, off the apps now.
until the fall.
Correct. We are rejoining in the fall.
I
Took a little lapse this summer. Took a little break.
I said that on someone's episode. I mentioned you being like, I'm waiting till fall, or maybe that was off camera.
Well, we were with Mary.
I know, but I talked about it later with someone else.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but you've done a lot of dating app activity.
Girl, I was on Tinder when it came out in 2013, 2014.
Yeah.
Like,
Was
first
that
boyfriend.
That was like the first one.
Freshman year of college. After serious relationship, met him on Tinder.
Oh.
That was Hockey Boy, yeah.
Oh.
Right.
Okay.
That led to a friend's marriage, so
Okay,
that
so
was my doing.
okay, but why do you use dating apps?
Well, in Fayetteville, where I live, it's kind of like if you don't go out and meet people, you're out of luck, and like you're gonna have to get on the apps and meet people. Me being a little homebody, after work, after going to the gym, I'm not wanting to go out on the town.
Well, yeah, not
So
on a weekday.
my thought process was, let's just get on the app, see what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But that has never been a fruitful situation, we'll say.
Other than the hockey guy, I guess.
Right, but we were like 19.
Yeah. I mean, it didn't work out, so.
Clearly.
Yeah. Okay. So, what are like the pros and cons? Because obviously you've used them forever. Lots of people use them.
Okay. Pros would
And
be...
I'm obviously, we know, like, not too fond of it.
Right.
But I want to hear from your perspective, because we've only really heard from
Okay.
Jay and Howard, who own a dating app, as far as like pros and like people who are for it.
Okay.
But I want to hear from a user, female, pros and cons.
Okay. Pros, I definitely see you can find people that you're not immediately right next to. Like, they might not even be into hobbies or things that you're into, and you can still find them on the app. So, like, say you're into biking, say you're into hiking, say you're into, I don't know, shopping. If those guys aren't into those things, where are you going to run into them? Because, like, if you don't see them at the grocery store, if you don't see them at the bar, if
Nobody's
they don't work
talking
with
at
you,
the grocery store.
right. So, like, if you're not seeing them out in life, especially in, like, a smaller town, how are you going to run into them? Especially now being, like, out of school, you're not doing a ton of, like, social events.
But do you click with those guys that you like don't have stuff in common with?
I mean, to be honest, it's hard for me to not click with someone. Like, I can talk to a wall, so
You
been
can
on
yap.
a lot
You
of
can yap.
dates with guys that I haven't necessarily clicked with, but, like, they probably wouldn't even know the difference because I'm talking to them like I'm talking to everybody.
Okay.
So the pros are, like, getting to see people that you're not, like, running into all the time. Or
Yeah.
if you don't have the time or you don't want to go out,
Yeah.
you can still, like, meet people that you aren't running into in your daily routine.
Yeah. I will say I give you some like credibility because Fayetteville is a tough place like as a grown adult to meet other grown adults because it's a college town.
Yeah.
So like if you're going to go out to like where
gotta
the
go
bars and things are,
Bentonville,
there's
Rogers.
Yeah, cuz you're going to go
Yeah.
in Fayetteville, there's
You're going to meet.
it's all college kids.
Yeah.
And like yeah, it's just like not the place.
Right.
But you're going to have to go to like the next town over to meet other like corporate adults.
Right.
Which you could do.
I know, but I work there, so, like...
So
That's
then
just the whole
literally go to like happy hour after work.
Girl, I gotta go to Orange Theory. I got my routine. I mean, I should. I definitely should.
I definitely
It's getting
Orange
myself
Theory
out of
over
my
guys,
comfort
but-
bubble.
Yeah.
That is another problem I have. I like my little routine. I like my little happy bubble.
Yeah.
I'm never going to find someone if I don't get myself out of that. So that is something I have to do. If I'm willing and able.
What does that look like? Getting out of your comfort bubble?
It looks like doing things that don't necessarily sound fun to me after work, like going to a bar, putting myself out there, maybe even going to a bar by myself. You know, I've never been to a restaurant by myself. That sounds like the things I'll do solo
crazy.
are like normal things and like going to the movie. But like going to a sit-down restaurant by myself terrifies me.
You've never even sat at the bar at a restaurant by yourself?
No.
That's crazy.
If I'm going to eat by myself, I'm just going to cook at home.
Yeah, but it's not really, it's for the atmosphere.
I have atmosphere at home.
Not
Which
an
goes
atmosphere
back
with any
to-
men.
True. Which goes back to me being a homebody.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
Right.
Okay. So pros would definitely be like convenience.
Yes.
You don't have to go out and
The
about.
apps are super convenient.
Yeah, so you can do it from the comfort of your home
Right.
and not have to like
You're looking
make
like a
other
gremlin in bed
plans.
scrolling, and your profile looks like a goddess, and you're just like, literally.
wow, I hate that.
True.
Okay, and so what are the cons? What? Because obviously you've had a lot of experience. You're saying that you haven't had good luck. So what is that? What do you mean?
Yes. The cons. The first con I'm going to think of is the catfishing that happened to me this year.
We don't remember this.
Oh. Well, this could play into
Catfishing?
story time.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, so met a guy on, I think it was Hinge. Like, his profile's super cute. He was 25. Me being 30, that was already out of my comfort zone.
Okay.
So I was like, whatever, like, he's cute. And he was tall. And he had, like, really funny captions. And, like, if you're funny, I'm going to say yes.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, let's just, like, see what happens. So we start chatting. This man is basically, like, I'm basically talking to myself. Like, The banter is bantering.
Oh, I do. You did tell me this story. Okay.
Like, we were clicking.
Yeah.
And we texted for, I think, like a week. And then we figured out a date. And I had gone to, I think it was like a friend's bridal shower or something. Oh, it was the day, okay, I hosted a friend's bridal shower at, like, my mom's house. Mm-hmm. So we had the bridal shower, so I'm already, like, ready to go. And then we all wanted to, like, go to Dixon, which Dixon is, like, the bar street of bars, like, in town. So we go to Dixon, hang out at one of the bars, and we were just going to, like, hang out there, and then I was going to leave because our date was at a restaurant on the square. So, like, hop, skip, and a jump. So we're hanging out, and I'm like...
That's country for it's close by.
That was not country. Okay, so we're hanging out, and I have the great idea, after God knows how many beers, and I'm like, let's just invite him here, and we can, like, y'all can meet him with me. Mm. In my head, this is a genius idea, which in retrospect, it would be if this turned out well.
Yeah, that's a risky move.
So I bring it up to him, and I'm like, if you don't feel comfortable, totally get it. I know that's a lot of people to meet, like, right off the bat meeting me, but, like, if you're cool with it, I'm cool with it. He's like, cool, yeah, like, I'm already close by. I was already heading to the restaurant. I'll just meet you there. He comes to the bar. He's like, hey, I'm in the bar. I'm like, cool, y'all. I'll be right back. Gonna go get him, bring him to the table. We were, like, sitting out on the patio. I walk in. This man, like, it was like a whole other person. Like, his profile was
photo.
from, yeah, like, his profile had to be from, like, 5+ years ago.
So he was, like, in high school in his photos.
Unfortunately, which makes me feel like a pedophile. Like, it was giving predatory behavior, if that's how old his profile was.
Yeah.
But it was like, it was just not the person that I had been chatting with in my head.
What looked different?
He was of a different stature. And I am not saying that as a bad thing. If your profile is cool and you are of that stature and I swipe on you, that is cool. Mm-hmm. I am not opposed to that. It's when you put a facade and you're being truthful of, like, what you look like. That's where it's kind of like, oh, I'm a little caught off guard because this isn't who I thought I was chatting with.
Yeah.
And it was like I cannot describe to you the stark difference that I was seeing before me.
Okay.
So I'm like, oh, okay.
It's like you're talking like 100-pound difference.
Girl, yes. And I was like, oh, cool. Go up and talk to him. He's, like, very nice. I can tell he's, like, a little nervous. Bring him back to the table. My friends can tell by the look on my face, and also the look on their face. I can tell that they're putting 2 and 2 together because I had showed them his profile.
They're like, you just
They're
got
seeing
catfished.
what I just saw.
Yeah.
Right. Moral of the story, date was fine, but I'm immediately not turned off, but, like, my first impression is negative because you're not portraying yourself as who you are.
Yeah.
Which I know that can play into, like, well, girls edit their photos. Sure. But, like, you have, like, if you want to successfully date online, you have to portray yourself as, like, who you are, what you look like. Mm-hmm. Otherwise,
well, if you want to date at all.
Exactly. Like, otherwise, what do you think they're going to think when you show up and who the heck was I chatting with?
Yeah.
So that was kind of a lesson learned of, like...
Well, I feel like it also gives you, like, a bad taste in your mouth because you're leading with, like, dishonesty.
Right.
And, like, not being your genuine self.
Right.
And so then it's like, why are you doing that?
And, like, from the get-go, I was already, like, put off. Like, I was just like, I just want this to end. But I still had to go to dinner, go through a whole dinner.
Oh, you went through the whole night.
I went through the whole dinner. I was a little
You're
southern
a trooper.
Gentleman. Like, whole night, did the whole thing. Somehow, even through the night, I thought I was making it clear that I wasn't interested. He would like to have a second date. Oh. So that is when I had to tell him, I am so sorry, I did not feel the connection that I believe you were feeling.
Well, at least you told him. You didn't ghost him.
Well, after my little ghosting, that happened last year, from now on, like, if I want to end it with a man, I'm going to tell him, and I'm going to give a reason, and I'm going to be super clear.
Yeah.
Because after you go through that, you're, like, questioning, what did I do? What went wrong? Like, I don't want them to feel that way, because I know how that feels.
Yeah.
And, like, with him, I wasn't going to be, like, rude.
And because now that you know how it feels to be on the receiving end, that's going to make you, like, feel guilty to do it to someone.
With ghosting and now with catfishing. Like, I'm like, I want my profile to look like me. Like, I even posted pictures of me without makeup on, because I'm like, this is me. Like, you're going to see this.
That's good.
It was after I got a facial, so she
but
was
still,
she was glowing.
But still,
it was an improved version of no makeup.
Most people wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I was just like, that really showed me a lot of, like, if you want to successfully go through it, you have to, like, be like, this is me, she is her, and here you go.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah. Wasn't good. Wasn't fun.
So, what was your other story?
Oh, my other story? Okay. Well, it's from, like, high school, but it was, like, a cute little July 4th date, and it was actually with stepbrother, which is, like, so funny. But me and her were like, I'm gonna date your stepbrother so we can be step-sisters, basically.
Been there twice.
Yeah. So
not with brother-in-laws. Two brother-in-laws.
Well, cute. Should have done
it. No, I shouldn't have. You know who they are.
Oh. Who?
Freaking and.
Oh! Okay.
Definitely
wow,
no
you've
and
been
no.
There. You have been there.
Yes, I've tried.
Okay, so I went on a date with him 4th of July. We, like, went and watched fireworks somewhere. I couldn't even tell you where. I do not remember. But, like, went and watched a fireworks show. Mm-hmm. And then we were like, oh, let's go back to, like, his parents' house, mom's house, and let's shoot off fireworks because, like, we were bored. So he, like, already had bought fireworks. We go back. We're shooting off fireworks. He has, like, you know, like the big, like, cannon ones, like a showstopper.
Yeah. Okay.
Where you, like, have the big cannon and you drop the ball in.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So he lights it, drops the ball in, and as he drops it, it's, like, racking and falls over.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it is aiming right towards my body. So I jump up because it's shooting.
You were sitting?
So, like, yes, Mission Impossible, shoot up, try to run. Unfortunately, so clumsy, busted my whole knee. Like, I don't even know that I got up from the ground. I think I just skid across the ground. And
sounds like you didn't get up
knee,
at all. It sounds like you
no,
just
I went
down.
Horizontal. There was no vertical. It was just horizontal. My whole knee is busted up. So he has to, like, pick me up, carry me, little heroic moment, and, like, bandage up my knee. I was literally mortified. I remember telling her, like, I have never been so embarrassed in my life. And she was like, hey, that's really not that big of a deal. But in my mind, I was like, it's over, it's done. I can never talk to him again.
How old were you?
Probably, like, 16 or 17.
And you really never talked to him again?
No. I don't believe we ever talked again. I think I was so mortified that I was like, no, thank you.
That's not even that embarrassing.
I know. I was a little teenager.
Wow. So what happened to the firework? Did it hit someone?
Probably hit the house. I honestly don't remember. I was just seeing red.
I mean, I wish it at least, like, went through your chair or something to where you're like, I definitely would have died had I not embarrassed myself.
Oh, it would have shot me clear, like, in the chest, for sure. Because I was sitting on the ground, and it fell over onto the ground, so, like...
Yeah. Well, then we'll say it was a life-saving moment.
Yep, we will say I am...
Although you could have gone up, jumped,
you know, we could have
leaped.
done a lot of things. He could have been more careful.
I'm wondering where this guy is now.
He is married, and I believe he has children. Could have been me.
Could have been you.
Probably not.
That's a good story.
Thank you.
Okay. So back to the dating apps. In an ideal world, is meeting in person or on apps better? What do you, like, what in your ideal situation would you prefer?
Well, the 2 serious relationships I've been in, I have met both in person. One being a high school, one being, like, through a friend. So I guess from experience, I would say meeting in person. That also eliminates all the issues of like, is this really what they look like? Is this just how they text well? That they don't conversate well? Because I've encountered that before. Like, where you're chatting.
That's the worst, yeah.
Yeah, you're texting, everything's great, and then you meet in person, and it's like the personality is gone. And you're like,
dude, there was
hey.
this guy. Oh my gosh, that reminds me. There was this guy. I dated like several Matts. Like there were like 3 Matts. Like when I was like a kid, like junior high, high school. And this guy's name was Matt. I can't remember his last name.
Oh, that's even leaked into your...
Huh?
That's leaked into your adult life.
Yeah. But he was... This was back in like AIM days.
Oh,
like AIM.
Oh, we are going back.
Yeah, way back. We're talking like 7th, 8th grade.
What was your handle?
Shoemaniac64.
The way that's the most accurate thing I've ever heard.
My mom made it up for me. I still have the email address. It's just a bunch of spam.
Mine is like slightly inappropriate for a child to come up with.
What was it?
It was sweets for my sweets. Sweets for my sweets.
Interesting.
I think in my head I thought it was like me being
Sounds like
nice
a
to my
porn
friends.
star name.
Thank you. And guess who I told that
Like
username to?
OnlyFans.
Guess who wrote in that username for me?
Your mom?
Kelby.
Ew.
He didn't look at me and go,
Your brother?
yeah.
Anyways.
Because we like set up our accounts together.
So I'm pretty sure, I mean, this might have been early emergence of MySpace maybe, but I know like we were like online chatting.
Okay.
And we had added each other through like, because we had a mutual friend.
Mm-hmm.
He went to a different school than me.
Okay.
But he was like the ultimate, what you're talking about, where over chatting, I go like this. But
he
it
is
was
like a
this.
king.
He, like, we were hitting it off. We were laughing, like, constantly all day, all night talking. And then when we finally met in person at the mutual friend's house, he was like a mute.
Yeah, I mean.
And so shy.
That was
So that's
that was
like,
going to be a story
that
time.
is OG, like, catfishing, I feel like. I mean, he looks like his normal self, but, like, didn't act like it at all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude.
that's the worst.
The amount of dates I've been on where that happens. And I just decide to take those dates and just trauma dump and just... I just go, I'm just going to use this as a therapy session.
Therapy session.
I do. I'm like, I'm just going to tell... Because they won't speak. Like, they're so
Yeah,
shy.
I guess that's true.
Like, I've been on dates where I'm like, hello?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm just going to tell you all my problems.
It
'Cause I'm
reminds me of that, like,
let's...
TikTok video where they're like, have you ever thought about, like, you think it was a good date, but then you're like,
I was just talking to myself.
Was he fun or was it just me? I was the fun one.
It's always me. Like, because I'm just sitting there talking. Like, I'll just fill the air. I'll fill the space.
Oh, my God.
But then I leave the date and I'm like, golly, I can't ever see him again. And then he texts me, can we see it? And I'm like,
You're like,
no.
Why?
I'm like, you know, I was just talking the whole time.
At you. I was talking at you.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're doing this. Yeah. Yeah. Good. Yeah.
Okay, so like because I feel like everyone who uses dating apps or has used dating apps says the same thing, where it's like we don't really actually like them because of all these different reasons, and like we would actually rather meet people in person, but we're not going to.
We're kind of forced.
So it's like, or people are like, well, I work from home, and I'm like, well, what do you do after work or on the weekends? Like,
it does feel like you are forced to use them just because it's like societal norms. And it kind of makes you think, like, if you have a past of meeting guys out at bars and it's negative relationships, like you're not having a great time in those relationships, then it makes you think, okay, the guys I meet at bars aren't the guys that I need to be seeking. So then you're like, where else can I meet them?
Yeah.
Do I need to take up golfing? Do I need to hit the basketball courts? Where are we going?
Honestly, golfing.
But then what are you going to go home from work and then do a scavenger hunt?
Pickleball, dude. Pickleball in Houston is the new, like, matchmaking. I swear. I went to play pickleball with Landry. It was all guys. Granted, there was only one hot guy, but the entire place was guys.
Okay, but what if you, like, don't want to go play pickleball? Then what do you do?
This is what I'm talking about. You
This is
just have to. Do something different.
I know.
I don't
but
know. I'm trying to convince everyone to, like, if we just all collectively stop using the apps, like, all on the same day, then everyone who is single that's, like, seeking real relationships will be out at
That's true.
places.
This is true.
So if, like, we all just stop
But,
on the
okay.
same day, everything will change for the better.
Have you had the experience where
So
you
if you've
do
got
go
stock in it, pull it out.
out? Have you had the experience where you go out, you're going to a bar, you are putting yourself out there, and no one comes up and talks to you?
Like, I'm by myself?
Or with, like, two friends?
I
Like,
will say...
I get when they don't come up when you're with, like, 12 people. I understand that because that's intimidating. But, like,
Yeah.
if you're with a couple friends or you're by yourself and they still do not come up, do you think that's just how guys are now? Because, like, college, how many guys did we talk to? Like, there's such a difference now.
I completely agree with the difference. Back in, like, college, early 20s days, I could not go out without being hit on, without a guy asking me for my
And
number.
I was looking like a rat.
Like, we were not... Like, we were...
I could go
we
out
were
in
not,
a hoodie, sweats.
Makeup was
Someone
not
is
what
gonna
it is
talk to me.
today. Yeah.
Yeah.
But so there's definitely, like, a stark difference now. However, I think you just have to bait them a little bit more.
I think guys are a little scared to almost be, like, too forward to, like, come up and talk to you. Like, they're scared that they're going to come off creepy or
I
something.
think some of them say they're scared, but I think that's bullshit. I think that's a cop-out. I think they're just lazy. Because
Yeah.
they know that they can go home and swipe, so they're just being lazy about, like,
They can just
well,
fall
what
back
if
on
what if she says no? What if she looks at me like I'm crazy? What if she has a boyfriend? Where it's like that was always the case, but back in the day when you didn't have dating apps, you had to approach her anyway.
It's like they had balls without the dating apps, and now they don't
Yes,
even want to have the option of being rejected.
Yes, that is my diagnosis. But I will give you an example of what I have done recently, because recently I've been hitting the balls out of the park, honestly, with meeting
Okay.
guys in person.
You've been.
I haven't, because I tell you every single time.
You do.
So this last time I was in Florida, in Miami area, which is my second home. And I was at a really nice, like, rooftop hotel bar restaurant, okay, that I have gone to a few times. And there's, like, high quality people. Everyone dresses nice. It's not, like, super bougie, but it's, like, just a classy, nice place.
Yeah.
And so what I did was I was by myself, and I just went in and kind of, like, took a lap around the place. I was looking for a place to sit because it was, like, pretty crowded, but also, like, kind of eyeballing very inconspicuously of, like, where should I sit down?
Check them in. Right.
Check them in. And so there was, like, one guy, like, a couple guys standing together that I wanted to, like, sit by, but there was no space. So I was like, okay, let me just go sit at the end of this bar. And there were two guys sitting there, but they were, like, turned talking to this other girl or two other girls. And then so I just said, hey, is anyone sitting here? Great opener. Because then they're going to look at you and be like, oh, then that's their opportunity to be like, you are.
Yeah.
Almost every time they say that. So he is like, no, it's yours or whatever. So I sat down, and then I see that those girls they were talking to happened to be leaving, and they were also, like, hard threes. I was like, oh,
Not
this
a three.
is perfect. They're teeing it up for me. And so they were handsome, definitely handsome guys. And so I think, I don't remember what I said to initiate the conversation, but somehow I just started talking to the guy next to me, and then at some point brought in the other guy. And so then us three just start chatting it up. There are two guys in their 30s from Santa Barbara. They were in town on vacation, and we started talking about the podcast, just started talking about everything. One of the guys had girl problems going on, so I was like, oh, let me chime in on this.
Let me diagnose you.
Yes, this is my opportunity. So he was all into it. We hit it off. We were sitting there talking for like 2 hours, having drinks.
Yeah.
I also was not drinking, so I was completely in control, because the other thing is, like, if you're going out meeting random guys, you don't want to be, if you're alone, you don't want to just,
You can't be like Slop City.
Yeah. So then the guy next to me was like, do you have any plans tonight? And I was like, no, I don't have any plans. He's like, would you like to join us for dinner? Super sweet, very gentleman. And so I was like, okay. So we Ubered to dinner, had a great dinner. They paid for my dinner. It was like not anything weird. It was very friendly.
Yeah.
And if I had been feeling it with either of the guys, or if maybe they lived in the area, not literally on the West Coast, then it easily could have turned into something.
But you met them because you put yourself out there.
Met them because I put myself out there. And who knows what that could lead to. Like, they might have a friend who's in Miami next weekend when I'm there, and they might be like, hey, you should link up with Natalie. Boom,
and
husband.
that could be husband. Yeah.
Someone in Houston. They could be coming into town. Bring a friend. Boom, husband.
Yeah.
So you just never know. And it's just good practice for, like, being confident, putting yourself out there. And worst case scenario, you can always talk to the bartender. Like, if you're sitting there and you feel awkward, talk to the bartender until someone comes by, or take a lap. Like, go stand it at
try again.
Yes, like, literally, I don't know. I just feel I'm at a place where I'm like, the worst that can happen is an awkward moment. You can always, you know where the door is. Like, if if you feel that uncomfortable, just leave. But that's never happened to me. Same thing at the gym.
You've never had an awkward moment where you're like, I could die inside. That was so awkward.
I don't think so.
Wow.
But I also don't get awkward easy.
Oh.
Not to where I had to leave, no.
Okay. Well.
I mean, the time before that, at that same bar, there was like a creepy old man hitting on me, asking me if I liked older men.
When is there not?
But I was like, just went with it. I had a good time. But yeah, and then gym. So I also feel like, I know you go to Orange Theory, but if you go to a gym, again, a nice place.
But then what, am I going to pay for 2 memberships? One's to meet a guy and one's to actually work out?
You got to do what you got to do.
I need more guys to go to Orange Theory.
When we go to the gym on Friday, you will be extremely motivated. You will understand what I'm saying.
But then, here's the thing. You have to, like, look cute when you go to the gym.
Semi-cute. Don't try too hard.
I can go to Orange Theory and look like a nasty rag ball.
This is true.
And
but you don't have to,
I'm going to run into the regular crew.
You know, I don't, like, put on a full face of makeup or anything like that. Just look decent. And then cute sports bra, leggings, like, you're good. You don't have to do the most.
I mean, I get it. I think meeting a guy at the gym, I feel like that takes away the mindset of what the gym is for. Because, like, I'm going there to better myself.
I'm not going there to meet a guy.
I understand. But, like, I feel like it would distract me. And I'd be like, oh, I got to look cute when I'm running.
I think it's about, for the way I look at it, all of this is, like, just being an opportunist. And so, like, if I'm, like, when I went to that rooftop bar, I was also hungry and just wanted to, like, chill after a long week of work and, like, overlook the sunset. Who doesn't want to do that? But you see an open chair next to 2 young guys, like, obviously sit in the chair.
Yes.
Like, you know, whereas most people would be like, oh, I don't want to sit next to this random guy. Like, you know, just be an opportunist.
Getting over the fear of putting yourself out there.
If I'm, like, working out, I don't care if I'm sweaty. I don't care what the situation is.
Yeah.
If there's an opportunity where, like, I happen to be standing right next to a guy that I think is cute and, like, there's a moment to, like, say something to him, say it. Worst case, he doesn't hear you, his headphones in, or, like, you just keep doing your workout. I mean, who cares?
But honestly, using the apps to go on dates can help you build your confidence talking to guys or talking to women.
True.
And that can help you get yourself out there to then feel comfortable going out by yourself, putting yourself out there in person. Because you're like, I got this. I've talked to so many guys. I've been on so many dates.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
it does
true.
help
I think
you build
if you're,
the confidence in yourself to be like, I can do this.
If you're, like, starting from ground zero, then I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, if you're leaving a relationship and you're like, I don't even know where to start on the apps, get comfortable.
Honestly, to me, I think, I don't know if it's just a personality thing, but I feel more nervous about, like, going on a date with someone from a dating app. Like, I'd be more afraid of the awkwardness than just an awkward in-person encounter.
I get.
Because I feel like that's quick. That's quick. Like, you could just be like, all right, nice to meet you, goodbye. Versus when you're, like, on an internet date, like, you're on the date.
I know, but I've been on so many that it's like, I know what the worst can happen if I've been there. So it's like,
true.
You know, it's just, it is what it is. Which is now why I don't do dinner dates. Like, if I am meeting you for the very first time, we are going to go get drinks. We're going to go to, like, a coffee shop because if you go on a dinner date, you are there for a meal. Mm-hmm. So, like, if you walk in and it's bad and you can tell you're not into it, you now have to sit through a meal with this man.
Yeah.
But, like, if you go get a drink, if you get a coffee, you're kind of like, oh my gosh, I gotta go change the dog. Like, you can just leave.
Change the dog.
Or just
Wash the dog. Change the baby's diaper.
I gotta change the dog. I got laundry to flip over. I'm not sure. I gotta flip my mattress. I don't know.
See, I feel like, I'm glad you said that, because people disagree on what an appropriate first date is in general.
I feel like dinner is a second or third date. Like, I'm honestly, I don't think it's crazy to not want a guy to, like, pay for my meal the first time I meet him.
Yeah.
Like, to me, that's just a more, like, formal date. Mm-hmm. And if that is what you prefer, cool. Like, I've been on plenty of dinner dates. Mm-hmm. But it's just that whole idea of, like, you're kind of in it for a while.
Yeah.
And if you're not feeling it, you're kind of, it's like, I don't want to waste your time if I'm not feeling it. And I don't want to waste your money paying for a meal for me. Like, I can go pay for my own meal. We're fine. Mm-hmm. So to me, it's just more like, let's casually meet first.
Do you think he should pay for your drinks or your coffee if you're doing that?
I mean, if he does, that's nice. If he doesn't, okay.
You don't care?
That wouldn't make me feel any type of way.
It would make me feel a way.
Okay.
Because it's like,
I don't know that a guy ever hasn't, but, like, if he didn't, I would just be like, oh, maybe he's not feeling it. That's probably how I would take that.
Yeah.
But I would just be like, okay, cool.
Unless you're, like, buying, like, 5 drinks, but then it's like...
Which, knowing me. He might be like, I'll pay for one.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe that's true.
I'm going to order an espresso martini. That is $15. If he doesn't want to pay for that, I will pay for that. In this economy, the $25. The one I had today, $18. It's crazy.
Put in top shelf tequila, $30.
Girl.
Yeah, I get my espresso martinis with tequila. I'm weird.
Yeah, gross. Literally gross.
No, it's actually so much better. A good reposado.
Dude, you know that I'm a vodka girl through and through.
I can't do it. Too much gluten.
What is gluten? That's a joke.
Poison. Allergies. So there's this girl on Instagram. Maybe I might have saved the reel, or I could go back and find it so I can post it. But she's just like a kind of a random influencer that has gained a lot of following. I like watching her stuff. She's younger. She's probably like mid-20s. Okay. And she was in London. Like, I think she did a solo trip to, I think, London. And
that's haunting.
Oh, really? That sounds amazing
I
to me.
could never.
Oh, you could
do a solo trip.
You could. You need a tour guide.
I can barely plan coming here by myself. Like, you had to tell me what outfits to bring.
Yeah, but I would be so down. I would love to do that.
You would thrive.
Absolutely
on a
thrive.
solo trip.
I would make so many friends.
You know how lost
I probably wouldn't come back. Honestly,
I would probably have my first panic attack.
Especially if it was somewhere where they speak English. I'm not coming back.
I don't know if I'm getting on
If I went to Greece alone, one-way ticket. I already know I'm not coming back. I'm gonna fall in love with the Greek man. Anyways, so this girl, she had gone on it. She met a guy in London, and they went on a date. So she got to the date, which was like a park. Like, they were gonna go walking in a park. And she was like, the first 30 minutes was like trying to find him in the park. And then they went on a walk for like an hour or so. And then they were like finishing the walk back where they started. And she said she was realizing like, oh, this is the date. Like, she in her mind was planning on them going to dinner. And so she was like she started getting kind of mad. She was like, that was not what she expected. Like, she wanted dinner. Okay. And she kind of thought, she made it seem like going on a walk for a date was like absurd, that he would think that was appropriate. And so she said something like, where's a good place around here to go eat? And he was like, oh my gosh, you haven't eaten? Like, I'm so sorry. You should have told me. Like, we could have got food. Okay. And then she was just like pissed off, turned off by the whole thing, that he didn't immediately want to take her out to eat. Okay. And I was like, I typically really like this girl, but I was like, I think you're wrong. Like, first of all, I would love to go on a walk as a date. I think that's super cute.
That's cute. Cute, easy to talk, free for everyone.
Exactly.
Will I start sweating? Yes.
Maybe,
Will
I
I be...
don't know. London's pretty cold, usually.
If we're not in Houston, I'll go on a walk. We went on a walk today, soaked.
Well, yes. Understandable.
But I would not be mad at all if a guy asked me to go on a walk. Like,
Yeah.
that's adorable.
Yeah, and I don't think I would try to make a big
Especially in the
deal
fall.
about...
Ugh, I'm gonna cry.
I wouldn't try to make a big deal about, like...
Take me to dinner.
like showing him that, oh, I'm so hungry, like, because you didn't take me to dinner.
I mean, if I had not eaten and I was under the impression that we were going to dinner, I might say, like, can we stop by a hot dog stand? Like, can I grab something?
Yeah.
Because, like, I didn't eat and I didn't plan well.
Yeah.
I would just be like, I would just blame it
So
on
I
myself.
just saw the video and I was like, do other people think this? Because I don't know. I didn't know if I was biased because I really like to be outside and I really like to do active things. Or
Right.
I'm like, is she tripping?
If I was hangry, I'm tripping.
But like eat
But,
before
like,
your date.
Yeah.
You know?
Also, maybe, like, have more communication about what the date is. Like, if you're expecting dinner, maybe before you leave, be like, where are we going to eat again? Like,
Yeah, that's
'cause
true.
how did they get all the way to the date and she thought they were going to eat and he was not under that
I
impression?
don't know because they were meeting in a park, so don't know. I don't know those
don't know.
details.
I don't know.
Okay, so
But would I be mad?
first
No.
date, probably not dinner. I think I agree with that. I'm not opposed to dinner.
I'm not opposed. Okay, here's the thing. If I meet you out in person first, like if I'm not meeting you on the app and I meet you in person, we're already clicking, I'll totally go on a dinner date.
Okay.
But like if I don't even know what you look like or sound like or talk like or anything in person, a dinner date is going to scare me. Not
Yeah.
scare me. I'm just going to be like, girl, I'm in for a whole thing now.
Yeah.
Like, now I have to hang out with you for an hour or plus.
Yeah.
What if
yeah,
they are slow?
Yeah. Another reason I just don't.
Wait,
Love
what
the
would be a
apps.
place that would like piss you off if they took you to eat there? Like, what type of food would you be like?
I mean, obviously fast food.
No, more like if someone took me to eat wings, I'd be like, you want me to sit
Oh.
here
I
and
would eat
eat a
wings.
chicken wing in front of you?
I would eat wings.
That's such a mess.
Not really.
You're sitting there gnawing on a bone.
I don't think that bothers me. If
What?
he's eating wings, I'll eat wings. Why can he look sloppy and I can't?
I mean, you can. I'm just like, because now I'm nervous. Do I have wing sauce on my face?
I just
Am
don't
I
think-
allowed to suck the bone? Like,
Probably not.
see, I don't want to go get wings in.
I just don't. I don't think I'm that
Or like tacos.
self-conscious about eating. I know most people are.
If you take
I'm the
me to eat
minority.
messy food, I'm gonna be a little. That's gonna make me nervous. Because then you got to think of like how you're eating it and how
To
you're
be
looking.
honest, I don't know how to answer the question because I just think health. And I think if they were to take me somewhere that's not healthy, I would be instantly turned off. But that's because I'm a freak.
Okay.
So like if we're going to like
Like,
Buffalo
would you
Wild
go to like
Wings,
Postifina?
Postino,
Where did we
where
go?
we went today?
Yeah. Would
Yeah,
you?
I love perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're more like health-wise where they take me.
Yes.
Okay.
And atmosphere. Like, is it trashy or is it nice?
Okay.
I'm not thinking about how I look when I'm eating.
It's weird that we're reversed.
Yeah, if he were to
But
take
I'm also
me,
like, you could take me to Chick-fil-A. I will have a great time.
I won't show up.
I will show up. I will show up with a bib on. Like, girl, I'm having a good time.
You're like, I'm ready to scan my app.
I already know exactly what I'm getting. I'm going to pay because I went through rewards and then you can Venmo me.
I mean, if I was like in high school, yeah. But not
like-
now. No.
Okay, I guess a first date to Chick-fil-A at 30 years old would be crazy. Second date, down.
No, never.
I think I'm a little more casual.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. But I mean, I can do casual, but it's like fast food. Like, that's just major ick. Like, I mean, I'm not even gonna go to Chick-fil-A nowadays. I used to be an addict.
You
Don't
won't
get me
even
wrong.
go solo.
Don't get me wrong. I was a Chick-fil-A addict. I used to
You
eat
could get
really
the grilled
bad.
nuggets.
But
you have.
if I'm desperate, I will get grilled nuggets.
Okay.
So that's just how much I try to avoid Chick-fil-A at this point in time in my life. I would even get a burger before I would get like fried anything. Like I would get a Whataburger before I would get something fried.
Okay. And
So,
Chick-fil-A is basically fried.
To my point, we can go somewhere casual, like Brothers Pizza. Take me to a New York Pizza, yes.
Oh, well, yeah.
I've been on a date there.
I have actually, now that I think about it,
I think
I've
it was
never
a date.
been asked on a fast food
It was more like
date.
an interview. Let's talk about that. Interview dates?
What do you mean?
Like, have you ever been on a date where it feels like a job interview?
No.
Like
have you met me?
What do you mean?
Because, like, I walk in, we're joking, we're shooting the
Yeah. I went on a date once.
If they're starting to ask serious questions, I'll be serious and I'll, like, answer the questions.
I think it was because this is someone who I already knew. Like, we were already, like, kind of friends. But the friendship was very always joking. Like, we're always joking around.
Okay.
So I feel like he wanted to get more deeper, more serious on the date, which is good. But it was literally, I felt like a job interview.
I mean, I've had that where, like, they want to talk about serious stuff, and I'm totally fine, but I haven't felt like I'm, like, reading my resume. That was, like, choir.
No.
Like, it's more just like, oh, we're getting deep. We're going to get serious.
No, it was so interview style that I felt like I was being judged.
Like, he's, like, looking on the clipboard.
Practically. He definitely had a checklist in his mind.
Oh, okay.
And
Yes, I've had the vibe where they're, like, trying to see if you're hitting all their quotas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I was uncomfortable, especially because it caught me off guard because he's a funny guy, and like I said, we were
so you
always
weren't
joking.
expecting that from him.
Yeah. And then I almost felt like it was like fishing for answers. Like he was looking to find like the wrong answer. Like he was waiting for me to say the wrong answer. Like it was very...
He's trying to find the problem.
It wasn't like a curious, inquisitive questioning. It was like, I'm going to ask this until I find what's wrong with her.
That's making me think of when guys will be like, so why are you single?
Off.
Dude, hey, actually, don't ask me that question. And everyone stop asking that question.
Okay,
like
that is
actually stop asking that question.
That is now 2 things on the pod that we have said do not ever say. Number 1 is have a great day. Number 2 is why are you single?
Because why do you think I'm single? Because I haven't found my husband. Or maybe I did and now we're divorced. Like, why do you think I'm single?
Yeah.
I'm single because I'm single and I'm single. So date me.
How
do you want me to answer? And it's not cute.
Like,
and
what
I'm not
is
turned
the
on,
right
and I
answer
don't
to
like
that?
it.
How can you answer that in an appropriate way?
I just go, I don't know, dude.
What do they think we were gonna say?
Because in their mind they're going, I mean, you're just so perfect. How are you single? And it's like,
but how do I respond? Is it rhetorical? Are we not supposed to answer?
I think they're trying to flirt and it comes off like I'm gonna.
It comes off like I want to block you.
Yeah, it comes off like I'm actually gonna leave the chat.
For sure.
I'm actually gonna slide on out of here.
No, I typically know if I say any response to that question, it's very snarky. And then I don't plan on speaking to you ever again.
And I'm so mad. Like, you've now ruined my day.
Yeah.
One sentence.
I told the story about the guy that I continuously run into in Houston, and how he messaged me one time being like, "How are you still single?"
I get that they're trying to flatter by saying that.
Are they?
Because the whole, like, how are you still single? It's like, how has no one swooped you up and taken you? It's like, girl, I get it.
No, but I don't take it
Why don't you just do that?
I mean, I guess. Okay, let me not be negative. I can see how they may be saying that sometimes. But I also feel like it could be more of like a trying to press your buttons to see what is wrong with her. Like a quick way to find out what's wrong with her.
Like, what are the red flags?
Yeah.
But I don't think that's what they're thinking. I think they think they're flirting and being nice and flattering you.
They're idiots.
Well, yeah. Facts.
I have really thought many times, how should I answer that question when I get it?
Now that I think of it, I don't know that I've ever actually given an answer. I might just slide right on out. I'm not sure. I think I just go, I don't know, man.
Last time I said God's plan.
Hey, Drake.
Okay, moving on. What do you think is the biggest hurdle in the dating culture right now? Because we know it's like pretty messed up. Like, this is a rough place.
Okay.
We're in the thick of a hard time to be dating. Everyone knows that. So what do you think is the biggest obstacle that we're facing?
I think doing the personal work of getting yourself to the best version of yourself instead of hopping from relationship to relationship and just taking the same baggage to the same place.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where a lot of people they're like getting the same result and they're not realizing what the cause is because they're not looking internally to see, what am I doing wrong? Because like that's what I do with every relationship. I'm figuring out, where did I go wrong? How can I better myself so I'm not bringing this into the next one? So my hurdle that I've experienced is that guys are they're just going one after the other, taking their problems from one girl, applying it to the next one. That's what I've witnessed in dating guys. And maybe I got a bad picker. I'm not sure.
No, I don't believe that. People say that, but I don't really believe it.
I think mental health and therapy is a huge thing for dating right now because that's so important to like work on yourself, get yourself to the best version you can be.
Mm-hmm.
So then you're just coming into it like, here I am, ready to go.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times they're either not over the last girl, they're not over someone from forever ago, they're just bringing in their own insecurities from something someone else did, starting off on the wrong foot. It's just like, that's what I've experienced being a big problem in dating for me.
Yeah. That's a freaking good answer.
And mine would be, my problem is not putting myself out there. My hurdle for myself, need to put myself out there, need to get out my happy bubble.
Yeah.
My problem that I've experienced with guys, they're not doing
When we go to
therapy.
brunch tomorrow, I'm going to drop you off by yourself.
Hey, I'm going to poop my pants.
I'm just going to be like,
I'm just gonna stand there
you're
and
on
be
a
like-
solo date.
And be like, God, please take me home right now.
But no, that's a really good answer.
Thank you.
I actually, I tried out for The Bachelor one time, several years ago. And it's basically just like an interview process on camera.
Oh, girl, you did the camera interview.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so I went in this room, sit down with the camera girl, and she just asked, she said, tell me about your dating history or something like that, or something along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
And I proceeded to basically tell her that, like, all the guys that I date are insane. Like, I just continue to date these guys who are, I remember specifically looking her in the eye and saying, they're clinically insane.
Right.
This was shortly after.
And girl.
This was
And
actually.
can we talk about insane?
And so I was fresh out of actual psychotic relationships.
Like psychopathy 101.
Yeah. So this girl, when I finished my little spiel about how these guys are insane, she was like looking at me like this.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, all right, well, that concludes our interview.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, okay, sure, they're not picking me.
Did they like come do interviews in Houston?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
It was a casting call.
Okay.
Yeah. So you basically,
Wow.
it was just like at the aquarium, like a convention center.
A girl, the aquarium.
The aquarium is like a place. It's not literally just an aquarium.
Oh, okay.
Like, it has a restaurant. It has like a fair thing. It has a convention center.
Okay.
So it was in like the convention gathering room. And so you just go in a room, you fill out this long application. It's literally like 20 pages long, in the room with all these other girls. And there's also a bar there, of course, and there's cameras in there. So they're just kind of like, I think, seeing how people respond on camera, because they were,
Yeah.
I remember watching this girl that was being filmed, that she was clearly trying to like work the camera and like get attention. She was doing the most.
Like too and too much.
Yeah. And while I was like filling out my application. And then when you're done, you go in this room where there's just like 20 cameras lined up.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like a person at each camera like station.
Mm-hmm.
And they just tell you like which station to go to, and you sit down, and then that's when the girl or the guy will ask whatever question
Okay.
and like do a little interview.
I would be.
I honestly,
So
I
nervous.
don't think I did well. I was way too young. Now I think I
How
would
old
crush
were
it.
you?
I was probably 23,
Oh my god.
24,
Maybe Natalie.
maybe 24.
Baby Natalie posted. That's haunting.
Oh yeah,
She was terrified.
I should never have been.
She didn't know what the world
Yeah,
was.
no. I'm glad I didn't get on.
Girl, imagine.
Now I think I would crush that
Imagine you
interview.
on there after that.
Dude,
After.
I would
him.
have a different life.
Yep.
Yeah. But anyways,
Who knows what you would have done on there?
back to the point. I fully agree that I think mental health is a huge issue. I feel like our generation has, I mean, I'm sure every generation says this, but our generation has been through so much mentally.
Yeah.
Like, we haven't been through like severe wars or anything like that, but
Like 9/11
but like
pandemic.
especially technology wise.
Oh yeah.
So
I mean, the 90s don't compare to today.
like
That
it's
was a
just
whole different world.
so much change. I don't know. I just feel like our generation has issues.
We do, for
And-
sure.
And we're also kind of like the first generation of children with a lot of broken families.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I see a lot of issues. I see the same problem. And a lot of it is like masked. Like, especially at this age, I feel like men have found the way to mask their issues that you're speaking of.
Yeah.
So like if they're carrying
They're
around,
blaming their crazy ex.
Yeah. Yes. If they're carrying around like deep insecurity, they are really good at being deceitful and hiding that until they can't anymore.
Right.
And then it comes out in some way of like they switch up their personality, or they become controlling, or they ghost you, or like then they cheat on you. Like it rears its ugly head in some way, and you're like, that's not who I was dating.
Exactly. And sometimes you don't even see that version until you live with them.
I've never lived with a guy.
Don't. Just don't.
Wait, how many times have you lived with a guy? Twice?
No, just
Once.
old Al.
Would you do it again?
I don't know if I would marry a guy without living with him first. I think I would be more cognizant of the status of the relationship before living with someone. Like, I would think through it a little more. But in that situation, we were long distance. And then the pandemic hit, and I was scared because I was not living near my family. I wasn't living near my boyfriend. So, like, got a job, like, halfway through the pandemic, like, 2020. Moved back home, just started living with him. So then I'm going from we're being long distance to living together, and we can't leave the house because you're on lockdown.
Dude, that's tough.
And
That is tough.
yeah, that was a whole slew of issues because I had my own issues. I was incredibly depressed. So like, he is not the villain, the only villain. I was also my own villain. And like, I had stuff to work through, so it was just like a combination of like a storm,
Yeah.
basically.
Do you think, like, living together before, I mean, you said you wouldn't marry a guy without living with him, but do you honestly think that that's better than just the traditional way of moving in after you get married?
I don't know that it's better. Because I understand people that don't prefer that. Like, that could be religious views, that could be just morally. They don't think that that's right, which is totally fine. I just don't, like, I want to know, what is your routine? What is your, like, daily habits? Like, what am I getting myself into?
Yeah.
And maybe that's coming from me being hurt from my last situation. So, like, me being scared of falling into the same thing. But I do think it's a way to, like, truly get to know someone. Like, you're seeing them sun up, sun down. You're getting all their quirks. You're figuring everything out.
Yeah.
And it almost feels like a test run to, like, you know, playing house, living together, doing the marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Is that correct? I don't know. But I don't know that I could marry a guy without living with him or spending a lot of time together in a living situation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, like, maybe I still have my own apartment that I can go to. But we're spending time to where I'm figuring out, like, your quirks, your things, your stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did you know that living together prior to getting married actually increases your chances of getting divorced statistically?
I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think is the cause of that?
I think it's because...
You get stuck?
No, I think it's because, well, this is my theory.
Okay.
I don't know the actual answer, but I think it's because you lay, like, if you're in a relationship and you're living together, you know that you can leave. You're not bound by marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Assuming that you believe within marriage, you can't leave, like, obviously within reason, but that it's
Right.
like an eternal thing. So I think when you live together before getting married, you build your relationship on the foundation that you can always leave.
Okay.
So you're like, as opposed to you live two separate lives and then you come into this covenant.
Right.
And then that's forever.
Yeah.
So there's no middle ground when you do it that way of, like, there's this space where I can still get out.
Mm-hmm.
That's my theory. That's what I see, because when you're living together, it's basically like you're married. So
then you almost get married and it doesn't even feel like
it doesn't feel different.
Serious level of commitment you have now.
Exactly.
Taken.
That's my
I totally
theory.
understand that.
But I also know guys who, like, I know how they live, thinking of a guy in particular. And it's like the idea of marrying someone like that who, like, I feel like is super messy, doesn't clean up after themselves, like, has kind of poor hygiene, would be, like, terrifying. Like, I could not do that.
But I think you're going to figure out those kind of things even if you don't live with them. They can't
True.
clean up all the time if they are not truly clean.
Yeah.
You're going to see their mess.
Yeah.
I think I'm now contradicting my own thing.
Yeah, I think I convinced you otherwise.
I totally understand what you're saying. I also have the mindset of, like, if I am marrying someone, I am not going into it thinking divorce is a possibility. Like, divorce is not common in my family. My parents have been together for, like,
95
37 years. I don't know. Like, I was raised to believe when you get married, that is your life partner, that is your soulmate. Of course, things happen. If you need to get divorced because serious things are happening, yeah, I understand. But if you can work through things, that is what I was taught is how you get through marriage. Like, you're gonna have ups and downs, and, like, you're gonna go through things, and you have to both have the mindset of, we have to work through this. We can't just have the first bump in the road and get out.
Yeah.
So I think it's having the common ground of, you know, what you're both going into. Mm-hmm. But I get how living together could kind of diminish the whole meaning of coming together in a marriage and now being one, living in the same home. Yeah. I totally get.
Yeah.
I think our generation has kind of, like, grayed that line. Because, like, our parents did your parents live together before marriage?
No.
My mom didn't even live, I don't even know if she had roommates. Like, I think she went from my parents' house to my dad's house.
Yeah, I think so,
like,
too.
And that did not happen till marriage. And she did not even sleep in his bed. Like,
No, our
Very
generation,
different.
our generation has watered down so many things.
Absolutely.
And that's one of them, like living with a significant other.
And
It's
it's
so
almost
casual.
like I see our parents' point of view, why they're saying that's not cool, that's not great. But I also see our point of view where in my mind I'm like, I need to see those things before I commit to someone.
Yeah.
And that is probably because I've been in a situation where things did not go well, and I don't know that I would have figured that out without living with him.
Really?
Yes.
But I feel like if y'all weren't doing long distance, you would have.
That also plays a part. That is correct.
Yeah.
I do think if I had just moved back and like lived with my parents, it was just, it's the whole pandemic of it all.
But
like
I
was
know,
like,
maybe
might as well just move in with him. Let's get
were
stuck
y'all
together.
were y'all just not in communication that often? Because
we talked constantly, but it's the whole thing of like,
what were you
it's
not
the whole
saying?
thing of when you're talking, like when you're long distance, when he comes over to see me, I'm getting ready and I'm looking my best. And while he's there, I'm looking my best. Like I'm doing the whole thing. So it's kind of like you're both doing the thing where you're putting on like a showcase for each other. So then once you live together, you're seeing me as like a gremlin rat.
Was this before FaceTime? No, y'all had FaceTime.
I know we had FaceTime. I mean, of course he had seen me without makeup on and stuff. It was, I don't want to get into like all of our arguments, but it played into the whole like, you're not getting ready anymore. Like I was also working from home, so like I'm living in pajamas. It's also the
It was
pandemic.
COVID, yeah.
What am I gonna put jeans on for? Like
Yeah.
you want me to put on pants?
Yeah.
Where am I going? The kitchen? Like that's what I mean by the whole combination of like everything that was going on in that situation. It like nothing was playing in our favor.
Yeah.
But also I think
It's true.
that was for my own good because that wasn't a relationship I needed to be in. So it was like a good wake up call the 6 months we lived together, and I said,
Yeah. That's kind of the silver lining.
Yeah.
Because it was like the perfect storm, but you should
to
have
get
never.
me out.
Yeah.
'Cause
You
if
shouldn't have been
it
in it
hadn't,
anyways.
it might have a ring on my finger from that man. I'm honestly not sure.
No. You weren't that stupid.
Well,
I don't
Who
know.
knows?
The pandemic did make people do crazy things.
crazy things.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about red flags. I know it's like overly talked about, but what is like number 1 and 2 biggest red flags that you'd be like, absolutely not?
I'm looking for a gamer. Girl, I feel like that's like the last.
I
Guy
have
I need.
never in my life dated someone who played video games.
But I also grew up with a brother who is a gamer. That is why I like video games.
Okay, do yours
There's-
and then
okay.
I'll explain why I feel that way.
Red flags. Number 1, if you're messy, big old red flag.
Yeah,
Number
because you're
2,
super clean.
if you're talking about your ex, talking about past relationships all the time, big old red flag.
Yeah.
3 if you're short. Just kidding. That's not a red flag. I've only dated short guys. Gosh, another red flag. There's so many. I mean, if you've literally, back to what I'm saying, like if you've never been to therapy or even just done internal work, which if you have done that, you can tell when people haven't.
Yeah.
Like it's very evident.
Oh, yeah.
So those kind of things.
The
and
more work you do on yourself, the more you dislike other people.
yes.
Because you
To
can
where
tell.
you can tell if you just did the work, this wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
Like those kind of things, that's a red flag, which that's a whole umbrella of red flags in itself. But yeah, the being messy, if you're like, your hygiene's whack, like, come on. Like if you're brushing your teeth like in the shower and your toothbrush
Dude,
is
teeth. I've
like,
talked
we gotta
about
go to the
teeth
dentist.
before.
We gotta.
I think, is the dentist a scam? It might be. But
Is the dentist a scam?
that's going to go way in my hippie conspiracy rabbit hole. But it is, actually. It's a scam.
The dentist is a scam.
Yes, it is. It is.
I've never had a cavity. I just had a stroke. I've never had a cavity, and I would equate that to me going to the dentist.
Why?
I don't know, because they're probably like,
That's because they told you.
No.
Because they tell you, yeah, oh, keep coming back. You won't have any cavities.
Aren't cavities hereditary, or did I make that up?
I think you can be genetically predisposed.
Because I don't think either of my parents have ever had cavities.
You can be genetically predisposed. But it's not like
are cavities from
all be all.
sweets?
Definitely.
I'm not a huge sweet girl.
Yeah.
If cavities came from fried chicken.
That's one of the reasons. One of the many reasons.
I don't think the dentist is a scam.
It is. But we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
Okay, so the gamers.
Red flag. If they think the dentist is a scam.
No, to me, that's green flag. Video games.
Right.
Okay.
That is your red flag. Like, literally, for serious.
Let me tell you why. It's not about the video games. It's because the way that I'm built is very, time is everything. Like, being productive. Mm-hmm. Even if I'm doing nothing, I'm like actively choosing to do nothing. Like, I'm like, right. Today is a rest day. Today is a nothing day.
Right.
But people who play video games as a hobby, like for hours in a day, mm-hmm. to me, it's just giving lazy. And it's like, why don't you pick up a hobby? Why don't you read a book? Why don't you go for a walk? Why don't you watch a documentary? Like,
I get reading a book, you're like cognitively thinking, you're doing all that. But like, if I'm reading a book, I'm still sitting still.
Yeah,
so I'm doing the same thing.
It's not necessarily about the sitting.
But you don't think you have to like use your brain when you're playing a video game?
I mean, you have to use your brain to breathe.
But like, okay, as someone who plays video games, you're literally problem solving playing the video game, depending on what you're playing. Guys do shooter games. I can't speak to that. I'm not a shooter game girl. But like the games I play, I'm going on quests. That sounds stupid. But that's like what they're called. And so you're like, here's the problem. I got to figure it out. And I'm going to, like, of course you're not doing it in real life. But like as a leisurely hobby, I think it's fun. And it's a way to like kind of escape the world for a second. Which I also do reading a book. I'm leaving here and I'm going in my head. In a book, you're using more like imagination to do that.
Or you're just learning.
And the video game's kind of doing the imagination for you.
Okay, but see, with the books, I also don't read fiction. I can't stand it. I only read nonfiction.
Ew, so you're reading like psychology books?
Yeah, absolutely.
Girl, I want to like get lost in a story.
I get lost in psychology. I'm weird. I'm sorry. I'm just telling you where I'm coming from.
Okay, here's the thing. I understand the look of playing video games for hours and hours and hours and hours. Like, if you're not getting up and peeing, if you're peeing in a Gatorade bottle and you're not eating meals or, like, you know, getting outside, looking at the sun.
Yeah.
I understand. That is not
That's disgusting.
You have to have a healthy balance of gaming as a hobby.
I don't know what it is. I just feel it, to me, it feels extremely emasculine because I feel
there are the incels that play video games, of course.
I don't, just something about it to me gives me the ick so bad. Like, if I were to walk in and my boyfriend or my husband was sitting there playing a video game, like with the headset on and all that stuff, I would, especially if I have to like call out to him, like, oh, dinner's ready. Like, I would literally throw up.
I'm
like,
confused
to me, that's
how you've never dated a gamer.
I'm not into those kind of people.
I'm
not judging others who are. I'm saying
totally
this is my thing.
It could be because I grew up playing video games with my brother. Like, that's why I
played video games as a kid, like in elementary school.
But like, there's people that their job is streaming playing video games. Like, they are making money, crazy money playing video games. Like, it has become a whole thing because of how popular it was when it started as we were kids.
I just feel like, how is doing that contributing to society or making you a better person or making you smarter or a creative outlet or...
Creative outlet. Obviously, it's your creative outlet.
How is
You're
that
creating a virtual world. I know, okay, we're not going to see eye to eye on this, But you do, like, your problem solving, you're using your brain when you're playing video games. Like, you're also
Maybe it depends on
hand-eye
what the game
coordination.
is. Maybe it depends on what the game is.
Yeah.
Because I'm not well versed on what the games are nowadays.
Okay.
I'm thinking of just kind of mindless, like, shooting and yelling.
Well, that's a whole thing.
But you see what I mean.
Yeah. As someone who doesn't play shooter games, I can't speak to it.
I feel like
It does give, like, you're gonna say mean things about women sometimes. Probably. Because, like, have you ever seen them on TikTok? And, like, a gamer girl will come in, hateful things are said to that woman.
Oh, really?
It's like, you're on the thing. I like how I did a phone. Like, you're on the headset, and, like, if they hear a girl's voice, crazy things are said.
Oh, wow.
But that is a very specific, terrible kind of man. There's
To
great
me,
guys
it's
that
a
are playing
red
shooter
flag.
games.
To me, it's a red flag. Because the opposite to me is a huge green flag. Like someone
What
who
if you meet a bodybuilder dream man? He plays video games for a hobby.
I wouldn't date a bodybuilder. They're not any fun. Can't have any fun.
Your dream boat man in front of you. He every now and then wants to play a little college football. That's a new game.
How often is every now and then?
Maybe like a couple hours after work at night. After he's worked out, he's made dinner with
A
you.
couple hours?
Okay. An hour? You get
How
lost in the
often?
game. What if he does it nightly?
No.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
What if he does it every now and then? Every other day?
I'm talking once a month.
Oof. How are you going to progress in the game if you're only playing once a month?
You're not. That's not our life goal.
Okay, I'll play and I'll put it down for a while. But then, because I have an obsessive personality, that's why I'm obsessed with reading right
They're
now.
addicting.
Yes. But as someone with an addictive personality, I'd rather be addicted to video games or reading than crack cocaine. Like, you gotta pick and choose your battles.
Dude, I don't know. I don't think I'll ever be sold on it.
That's fine.
I dislike it.
There's plenty of men that don't play video games, I think.
I feel like I could go through each guy, like major guy that I've been with, and there's like a red flag of like the mental health we talked about.
Yeah.
That it's just like, why did I not acknowledge that red flag?
Yeah, and you're a psych major. I would think you'd pick up on those right off the bat.
Here's the thing about psych majors. I would say that probably the majority of us pursue psychology because we want to understand our problems.
Oh.
Or our like family problems. A lot of people.
You weren't like, I want to help people fix their problems.
No, I do. It's more
But
like
you're
a
more
subconscious.
like, I want to know what's going on up here.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And like I want to understand why I do what I do and why people do what they do.
Which also, in turn, you learn how
But
to help
also
others.
when you like somebody and you have the rose-colored glasses, like it doesn't matter.
Oh, of course.
It doesn't matter
Those
how
red
much
flags
psychology
do not
you
show
know.
up in front of your face.
Yeah.
And until you encounter a lot and learn from those, you're not even going to look for them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you
But
don't
that's
do
part
the work,
of doing the work. Yes.
then you're not going to see them.
Doing your own work to recognize your patterns and understanding why you are attracting the same type of people over and over
Exactly.
again. Like, what is taking accountability for what you do
Yeah.
that is ending you up in the same situation over and over again instead of just blaming others.
Yeah. Or until someone sends you to rock bottom.
Yeah.
And then you realize they didn't even do anything wrong. Like, this was all me. Like, I got myself here.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I was sitting. Like,
But dude, a lot of people don't come to that realization
right.
that like they play a role.
You have to want to help yourself. You have to also, the first stage is, what is it called? Realization, acceptance. Like realizing that you're the
Acceptance, yeah.
problem. Yeah. Like you have to accept I have a problem.
The
and I
last
wanna
guy
fix
that
it.
I was talking to has a pattern of like always dating women who are broken. Like, he's a fixer.
Yeah.
And he made a comment to me. He's very critical. He's like the type of person really quick to criticize others, but he has so many issues. And he made a comment to me once about he was like so sick of women who are emotionally irresponsible. And like kind of along the lines of what we're talking about of like women should be like, people need to do their own work.
Okay, he's not saying emotionally irresponsible with their own emotions or with his emotions?
In general, I think both. Like women who like having girlfriends who are just very emotionally like irregulated.
Gotcha.
And yeah, irregulated is probably a different answer. That's the way that I interpreted what he was saying.
Okay.
Yet is now dating someone who is that same prototype.
Right.
Very broken, very emotionally irresponsible based on the information that I've received. So it's like, you're sick of what you are bringing into your own life.
Yeah.
So who's the problem here, them or you?
Yeah.
Because you're turning away someone who has done the work, who is emotionally responsible, who is not perfect, but like can match the energy that you claim to have, that you clearly don't have, but that you're asking for. But like, you're still continuing in the same pattern.
Yeah.
So it's like, who's really emotionally responsible here?
Yeah. And what's
that
drawing you to
annoys
them?
me.
Because it's most likely it brings up your confidence and your security because you know they need you.
Yeah.
You want them to need you. You don't want them to be good on their own. Because once they are, what are you doing? Because if you're not good on your own, you don't want them to be good on their own.
I had another toxic ex who told me on that note, he was trying to explain to me that men need to feel needed. And because my personality is just very like, but I don't need you. So like, why would I lie?
Like, I'm with you because I want you.
Right.
Right.
And he was just very, I remember he had like a sit down with me and was like, you just make me feel like you don't need me. And I was kind of like, but I don't. Like, that confuses me, because I do feel like people, if you're in a relationship, you should feel like
whole as yourself.
You should feel whole as yourself, but there should be a sense of like, I do need you. I need you to meet my needs.
Right.
Emotionally. That's why you're here. But the whole like, it makes men feel inflated. It inflates their ego to feel like a woman needs them. To me, that's toxic.
Yeah.
So like this example I'm giving of this guy that I was talking to, it's like he gets this inflated ego from finding these desperate, broken women because they need him. Like they kind of do need him. They need somebody.
Right.
But that's not, how's that working out for you?
Yeah. And it's like, why don't you want
And if
someone...
you come into the relationship and you show up as a woman as very independent and I don't need you,
then they're like, well, what am I here for?
Then they get insecure.
Yeah. I have experienced that, and I don't really understand what that comes from. I think it is definitely insecurities of their own that they have. Because, like, they want you to need them. And, like, in a sense, you do. Like you're saying, like, I want you to, like, I need you to fulfill my needs, of course. Like, that's the whole point of a relationship, like, bringing it together. But you also want someone who is good on their own. Because you don't want someone who gains their happiness and joy from you. They have to get that from themselves.
Yeah.
Like, you got to love yourself before you can love someone else. Like, the whole thing. Like, and it's like they've just never heard that, it seems like. Or they don't understand
they don't
what that means.
Want to hear it.
Yeah.
They don't want that to be true.
Yeah.
But it's like, I feel like we need men. Obviously, I'm a huge advocate for men. That's what the show's about. I'm not sitting here being like, we don't need men.
Bashing
I'm
men.
The opposite. But at the same time, I'm not going to sit here and be like, I need you.
Yeah.
To be happy, to be whole.
Because
like,
I've been chilling for 30 years.
Yeah.
I'm good. But I want a relationship, a thriving, healthy relationship with a man.
Yeah.
I want that.
I see need as like, I need a man to bring more to my life.
Exactly.
To elevate my life, to bring more, more
make
fullness.
me feel good about myself.
Right. But those insecure men want that. They want you to feel like without them.
Yeah.
But I'm like, no, I need you to be there, to talk to me at the end of the day, to eat the food that I make, to go to Home Depot because I don't want to do that and I get lost.
And you want that partnership. You want to be a team.
Yeah.
Like, you're there for each other.
Exactly. Team.
You're building a life together.
Team. I want you to do the yard work and I'll clean the house.
Right. Because we've been doing everything on our own. And
Yeah.
I'm tired.
So tired.
Thank y'all so much for tuning in to today's episode of That's What He Said. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, and I hope you're taking away something valuable that will benefit your dating life. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please give this show a follow, rate, and review. And if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe, like this video, and most importantly, comment below because I want to hear what you said. See you next time.